Hello and welcome back to another proper episode of Whatcha Toku About reviews, where I review all the recent episodes of 3 ongoing tokusatsu series: Lupinranger vs. Patranger, Kamen Rider Zi-O, and Kami no Kiba JINGA. So starting off with Power Rangers, Cops and Robbers. Episode 39 of Lupinranger vs. Patranger. Iselob, a gangler from the previous episode, is seemingly brought back. He is freed by Zamigo in order to run havoc, do as his heart, do whatever he wants, pretty much. And with this, it pretty much tells the viewers that whoever is frozen by Zamigo actually doesn't die. They're just frozen and transported somewhere else, and then Zamigo has the choice to unfreeze them for his own purposes. So the 3 loved ones that the Lupinrangers lost, it seems like they're also possibly still alive. This episode, it was okay. It was an okay episode. It was mainly focused on the Lupinrangers, a little bit of the Patrangers in there. They're just kind of, for the most part, they're kind of there. Sakuya helps Umika with the decision. She wants to tell Noelle what they really know about Zamigo, as Noelle wants to know about him as well, and Toma says that they don't. And Umika is kind of conflicted. Like, she wants to tell Noelle, but she feels like she'll be kind of backstabbing Toma as well, who's also her friend. So Sakuya kind of helps her with that decision, like without knowing who she's actually talking about. She does the whole, like, I've got one friend and I've got an older friend, yada yada yada. So it was an okay episode. 2 debuts in this episode. Super Lupin Red. I'm not really feeling the design. It's not particularly an appealing design. I do like what its ability is. It has the ability to predict moves. And when I first saw that and heard about that, I thought, oh great, this is going to be really OP. It's going to be overpowered, isn't it? No, it's not. It can only predict initial moves. So when, as shown at the final, kind of like the last fight near the end between Super Lupin Red and Zamigo, Super Lupin Red can only predicts that Zamigo will move to this certain location, hence why he fires in that direction. But he is unable to predict that Zamigo would freeze Iselob, transport him to in front of him in order to take the full might of the attack. So it's not completely OP, and I appreciate that it wasn't. And then we have Lupin Victory Kaiser, the main mech of the Victory Striker. Not bad. It was okay, but like I said, it was an okay-ish episode. I didn't particularly have a lot of problems with it. Still could have been better, but that's it. Kamen Rider Zi-O episode 10. So in this episode, Zi-O has seemed to have betrayed Guys and Tsukiyomi and has sided with another O's, aka Dan Kuroking. So this wasn't a particularly bad episode. The problem I have with it was just Sougo's reasoning for what it looks like betraying them to side with Dan Kuroking. And it's that, I wanted to know what kind of king he's going to be. I'm just like, okay, like you could have told them so that Guys doesn't go back into his whole, yep, Sougo's gonna become Omazeo, freaking hate the guy, I'm not gonna try to be some kind of friend or whatever to Sougo. So I didn't particularly like that. We get more from the returning legends, the cameos, Eji and Hina. It's nice to see that even if the timeline is slightly altered, they're still pretty much the same characters. So Eiji, a good callback to O's, he still suffered from the same past, but instead of him deciding to become a free living traveler, he decides to be a politician.
and Hina is still kind of still has incredibly like freakish super strength. We get more of a time jacker Uru, and she's using a time jacker version of Castle Durano. I wonder if they're going to explain that, because this is the second Kamen Rider vehicle that they've used as one of their own time magin. So like the first one was Captain Ghost from Ghost. So I wonder if they'll explain that later on. And also Zi-O's own time magin has two extra forms now, like an O's form and a Tajidor combo form. They're okay. The fight between it and the Castle Duran time jacker, time magin, the CGI is a bit, very clearly, obviously CGI, but it wasn't particularly jarring or terrible watching it. The O's armor form that Zi-O uses, actually, I don't have any problems with it. I kind of like it, but I wish they would have added a bit more black to it, because it resembles more of Super Tatoba instead of the regular Tatoba form that O's has. His standard primary form, it looks more like his extra final form from only 2 of the movies that he was seen in. But overall, I didn't think it was a bad episode. It was a good, okay episode. I think it did a kind of a pretty good job celebrating O's, especially with the characters. Several of the callbacks as well. So another good episode. It's getting there. And the next episode is Gaim. Gaim was like the series that got me to watch Kamen Rider, so I'm eager to see that. We got Gaim himself, Kota Kazurabe, returning, and also Kaito Kumon, Baron, is also returning for those episodes, so should be good.
Kami no Kiba episode 5, and for this episode it's a Fusa focused episode. She's investigating a possible horror in a hostess club, and if you don't know what a hostess club is, it's basically a club where the workers there, these women, they kind of flirt and talk with you, and men will pay them, and the women are all ranked at how good they are at their job. So it's like, it's very like, it's not really, it's like conversation prostitution in a way. Like, I really didn't know what it was. I had to look up what it was, and it's like hostess club. I'm like, what's this? And like, oh, this is a legitimate thing. Okay, sure, if whatever, there is like some slight fan service in this episode in the hostess club. Angles of like thighs, cleavage, and all that. It's just to kind of show like the atmosphere of that setting. So it was a particularly slow episode. Like, I do appreciate that they gave Fusa more attention. They gave her a focus in an episode. The problem is they really didn't know what to do with her. Like, they had an idea and they didn't execute it. They didn't execute it well. It just didn't seem like it was going anywhere. It didn't seem like there was some kind of proper meaning for like how this connects to Fusa and why she should get this full attention in the episode. I know it did seem like, yeah, they wanted to do something and they just didn't do it properly. And considering from the previous episode, the ending where the horror side of JINGA seems to resurface and kills Shijo, none of that is like properly brought up. Like his little brother asks, where is he? And he's just like, oh, he left. And the brother's like, okay, yeah, what a chicken. He should be thinking, this guy is even though I don't like the guy, he's a much more experienced Makai Knight. Why would he just leave? But there is good moments of like this evil JINGA side that pops up, like when he just goes up to Fusa or like seductively and just like wipes something off her lip and just walks away, and like smiling just walks away. And Especially near the end, there's another good moment, and it's leading up to the next episode, which will seem like to properly deal with is the original JINGA coming back through his reincarnation. So it was a okayish but slow episode. But hopefully the next episode is good. It's going to be, like I said, looks like it will deal with the aftermath of the previous episode, episode 4, and see how that one goes.